I'm here with Charles Apthorpe at the Flying 15 World Championship, and it is Allen Day, and you have chosen an Allen Fitout for your boat. Why in particular Allen?
Well, two reasons. One, a number of their blocks I think are the best on the market, and secondly, they provide very good support. We've had excellent support from Allen, and we fitted the boat out in quite a hurry for the dinghy exhibition. We only built the mould for this boat over Christmas, and I think the 28th of January the hull came out of the mould, we struck the deck on it, and then I had to do the fit out for the 24th of February, including working out what fittings to put where, and so fittings went backwards and forwards, and they were really, really good at helping us out. So I was really pleased, and I'm glad with the choices we made. So if we look at things like the shrouds, we have adjustable shrouds both fore and aft and up and down with Allen fittings, and these are quite robust actually. A number of the corresponding designs have actually failed, so you can adjust your rake quite easily. That works well. And things like the jib hallid over here. This is a block that was originally designed for moths, for high load, but we use it on the jib hallid, and on the primary load where you've just got a one-to-one jib hallid, it's very important to have a block that works very smoothly, and it's not this can't fail, but it works well under its maximum load. And like on the kicker, same thing on the primary load. That's our primary load because the kicker works upside down. Again, we have one of their very high load blocks, and that works exceptionally well as well. So all in all, from that end of things, it's been very good.
Now, you mentioned there having the XHLs on board, and when Allen made those in the first place, they were a very specialist application, but they're being used even on traditional boats like the Flying 50.
Yes, that's correct. I think because they work very smoothly under high load. So for an example, if you take where our jib sheeting is over the other side, we've got one of those blocks rebaited into the side of the boat, which is a tie-on block, and that means that your primary load, where you're pulling really hard, where you've got a more than 90 degree turn, that's when normal ball bearing blocks start to really suffer. They break down over time, and also it makes life really hard for the crew to pull them in and out. And the same, the specialist track system they built for the 15 Allens is very good. This is the fore and aft, and you obviously can adjust it in and out. And it's just a little bit more robust than the previous ones that we were using. I had to use 2 cars on my old boat, whereas on this one I can use 1, so I'm very pleased with that as well.
With the Allen fittings made in the UK and the designers there, do you find the team very receptive when you come forward with an idea?
Yes, we've been talking about developing new blocks and things like that with them, which I think will be very useful in the long term. No complaints about everything. They've got the ball bearing blocks. I had an issue with one of the blocks, one of the cleats rather, that the springs we didn't feel were quite strong enough, and immediately they sent us a new set of cleats with high load springs in them. I mean, you can't do any better than that.
And so for the different applications, if you have a line which just has very light loads on it, you have a smaller spring or a less tension on the spring, and something with high load, something with more tension on it.
Yes, absolutely. So it stops it recleating. So Simon Potts, the guy who does a lot of the development work, came round to Brett Dingwall's boatyard and inspected the boat, and actually went through the various issues that we'd had, and went away and sent us some replacement kit. So that's very, very good. And it looks quite complicated in the middle, but this is really a sort of an evolution of a layout that creates a lot of space for the crew in the middle of the boat. And so it's quite important. The strings go across the boat, and so we've got all the small Allen blocks in the floor. And although it looks complicated there, in fact, nothing actually conflicts. And it means that when you want to tension something like the rig, to give you an example, this is the rig tension on the boat, which obviously operates the one at the front, that it's all neatly set up, that the cleats just run in and out by running them up and down the side of the boat. So you can just pick something up by feel and recleat it. But if you want to pull the tension up, I mean, that is pulling up just as smoothly as you can. And if I can bore you with a moment with the rig tension gauge, this is more than what we sail with. That's 35 on a rig tension gauge, without even trying. So that's how smooth the blocks operate on. You can see, you can just let it off and you can put it on.
And again, on these cleats on the console, different
different
springs.
tensions. This one here is a soft spring because you want to be able to put it in and out easily. But so that's, I mean, that takes you, that's 26, which is perhaps most normal. 35.
Single line control.
Yeah, well, it's twin both
One
sides. But that, you can see how easy it is. And that's all to do with having, attention to detail of each block works well under the higher load. So there we are. And lots of tie-in blocks. Everything works. Really pleased.
Well, Charles, traditional boat, high-tech blocks, looking fabulous. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I'm here with Simon Potts of Allen, and you work with customers like Charles to create the fittings that they need. And how does that process work?
Oh, it can be a lengthy process or a short process. Obviously, in an established fleet with really good sailors, they've got lots of history and lots of experience and lots of input to our new products and old products. So what we try and do is listen to exactly what they want and within a realistic time frame, modify what we have or generate new.
And I saw up on the mast of Charles's boat an XHL block. This was something you originally created just for the international moths and the 49er, but they're making their way into the traditional classes.
Yeah, little did we know at the time how popular that block would be. We even do a 60mm version now, which goes on the runners of a Cape 31, so that little boats help the big boats.
And the jib tracks, this was something beforehand. Charles said he had a bit of a Heath Robinson collection of fittings there, and you've made it into something that is really quite ergonomic.
Yeah, it's a production item. You can buy it in a kit. That was developed in line with some of the 470 requirements, and now it's rolling through to traditional classes, which is amazing. It's really good, simple to use and accurate for trimming.
Thanks for your time, Simon.
My pleasure. Thank you, Mike.